Alrighty, right. So let's get on with reading data from Hyperliquid. I hope you have looked through some of the documentation already. This is fairly useful. Um, my opinion is that you should always go whatever you build into any type of documentation and read it. And that's basically just the same as we did with CoinGecko and Binance, but now for Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's API is actually super easy. It just has this info endpoint for perpetuals and spot, so you don't actually have to switch around like you have to do it on Binance. And you can define everything with well, with the parameters that you input and what you want to get out of it. All right, so the same as before, we get our data. The mid prices you have seen, that's just the middle of the bid and ask spread. And then we can get the metadata from the Hyperliquid endpoint. Um, Somewhere here you'll find it, and that is the universe. And the universe is pretty much just the bubble that the markets trade in. So Hyperliquid is actually really cool in that anyone can create a market on top of Hyperliquid and you can trade in it. And we just use the main one, which is the Hyperliquid market. But through Hyperliquid, you can also access any of those universes. So, like people have now made universes and provided liquidity for people to trade with Tesla, Google, stocks, gold, the Nasdaq itself, or anything else. And I think probably in the future prediction markets will come as well. And the universe just tells you what is in that same market that you are exploring, the asset that you're exploring in. All right, and then, well, I'm a little bit of a Hyperliquid fanboy, you might have noticed. So, sorry for the excursion. The margin tables are basically what you would expect. They tell you the different types of margins that, like, well, the description, your margin tiers, the max leverage, the lower bound, etc. So then we have the collateral token. I guess this was easy for you. This should just be USDC, USDT, the one that you basically use to trade. All right, and then you can see I made an assumption here that is wrong, and I think you should always verify your assumptions. So I thought that Bitcoin might be the first asset, but it is not. And now you can actually see how you can use AI to help you. A small trick: make a comment, that is, start a hashtag, and then describe what you want to do. Iterate through the metadata, enumerate, and print the name of the asset and number in the list. Well, it's not technically a list, but yes. So I just describe it, and as you can see, the AI has already filled it out. The symbol key does not actually exist, so it made a small mistake here, but we also don't really want it. And yeah, then you can print, and we have it here. So Sol is first, then we have Aptos. I don't know what Atom is, and Bitcoin would be fourth. All right, and then stop if asset is Bitcoin. See, you can code without actually having to write the code nowadays. You can just describe what you want. That is actually pre-ChatGPT already. We had GitHub Copilot a long time ago, and JetBrains IntelliSense. I just find it really cool. All right. Anyways, always verify your assumptions. Imagine that you would have placed a Bitcoin order on Sol because you thought Bitcoin would be first, like I did. I found out about this earlier, and of course I prepared for it, but it's a cool mistake to keep. All right, then we can try to format this really nicely. We add each asset to a number, so we have the number of decimals. For us, it doesn't really matter, but because we will do some type of copy trading, and just automation. But for a lot of market making and these type of things, it will matter the number of decimals that you have. And decimals, if you don't know, that is just the points after the full number. But don't worry about it right now. Okay, so we can look at the current asset context. This endpoint, which is meta and asset contexts, which we have, I think, somewhere here. You'll find it in the documentation, meta and as, yeah, it's here. So this will always show, and the asset context, the meta is the same as before, but the asset context is just the price, the open interest, and all these numbers that you see here. That is the mark price, the actual price of the spot price, and the mid price that you trade on the perpdex. All right, so the interesting part now comes out here, which is the clearinghouse state from which you can get your all the data that is available through the API about your account to you. And we can get the account address. Actually, you can get it of anyone, and you can check and print what we have. Obviously, I did this already. Interestingly, you can see it matches, except that on the API, I have 1 cent more to spend than through the UI, and I'm guessing that is just some rounding. All right, we can check the open positions. You see that there are no open positions. I made a parser function with the help of AI here to just make everything pretty in a dictionary. We can check the open orders. We don't have any open orders. It's obviously not so interesting. So let's try to make an order at 82,000 for 0.01 Bitcoin and see if it shows up. As you can see, now we have this order out here. We check again and ta-da! We have the order and the order ID. We can look through all our open orders. If we were to add another one, say at 83,000 and place this, then you would see that we have now 2 orders and we can iterate through those as well. All right, then we parse them to get them into a nicely ordered dictionary that is called my orders. You add another code cell. You can always check what this looks like, and ta-da, we have this as well. All right, and if we were to cancel the orders again, then you can see that they would disappear, and we have nothing in those dictionaries anymore because we have 0 orders. And my orders is also empty. All right, then the order book is very important. You've seen me make videos about it, so I will not explain this any further. You can go on the channel, and it's very, very important for you to understand this, and also why you should do limit prices, and why leverage is dangerous a lot of times, because the order books, especially these days, is extremely thin. So we can check the order book structure. We have L1, L2. That is just the granularity and the amount of detail that you'll get. Hyperliquid gives you everything, even through a WebSocket, which is a live stream, where you can really get a lot of details that you cannot get in any of the other exchanges, which is another reason why I actually really love Hyperliquid. All right, we can calculate the spread, which is between the bid price and the ask price. So the best bid is the highest price that someone is willing to pay for Bitcoin right now, and the ask price is the lowest price that someone is willing to sell Bitcoin to you. And if you want to know, market makers make use of this spread to try to catch someone blinking first, so to say. I think I made another video about this also a few weeks ago, where you can try to understand this. All right, let's get our account value again, still $998.93. Later, we will always use classes. A class is just an object that we add the functions to, we initiate it, and so we load all of the data in, or we define some functions that we can initiate with that object. So we have the info object right now that has been created with the Hyperliquid info class. And we can use all of the functions that we had earlier. And instead of calling the functions individually and defining them and having a mess of 50 functions, we just have one class that has functions predefined for us. All right, get through this. I would suggest that you just try to play with it a little bit and maybe change some functions. Look through the endpoint, see if you can add some functions to the class and make it work by calling it with the info endpoint, right? And play around, use AI, just describe what you want to do, it will help you. You also have the chat function that I showed you before that gives you the agent. And all right, after that, you should be fairly comfortable because we get serious in the next lesson.